To men on both sides of the war, Jack Churchill seemed like a man without fear. He moved swiftly and silently. He was diligent and efficient. Jack often carried a basket-hilted broadsword and a rifle with a fixed bayonet in each hand. He was skilled as both a swordsman and a marksman. His talents with rifles and pistols were well known, but he was also a capable archer. In 1939, Jack went to Oslo, Norway, to compete in the World Archery Championships. It had already been going on for 8 years. However, the competition was suspended during World War II. Jack needed to find a new venue to practice his skills with the bow. He returned to Britain. In May of 1940, the German war machine continued its inexorable march across the European continent. The French were being driven back, and along with the British, were involved in fierce fighting around Dunkirk. It was here that Churchill cemented his reputation and earned his epithet, Fighting Jack Churchill. He was put in charge of a small unit. Jack and his men occupied a tower overlooking a barren town when an enemy patrol was advancing through it. Churchill was armed with a longbow, broadsword, bayonet, and small arms. He had 2 knives and a revolver on his belt. He had grenades as well. Orders had been given to the men at the tower's base, as well as men concealed in the streets and buildings below. From his tower, Fighting Jack spotted the enemy sergeant leading his patrol. Jack stood up with the bow in his hand, and in a clear voice he said, "I'll shoot that first man with this arrow. Ready?" He fit an arrow to the bowstring. There were 19 in his quiver. He let loose, and the arrow crossed the distance between Churchill and the sergeant at a terrifying velocity. The arrow hit him at the base of the neck, and the sergeant was dead before he hit the ground. A hail of rifle and machine gun fire pinned the patrol. Churchill leapt for the bottom of the building and led a small unit with his sword in hand. The men in the tower provided covering fire. Jack yelled, "Charge!" through the din. The men began firing as they advanced to engage the enemy patrol, but Jack slipped to one side. First he counted to 10. The patrol was fighting his men in hand-to-hand combat. Jack vaulted a low wall to engage the enemy and began laying about himself with his broadsword. He cut down 3 men before they knew he was there, and another 2 were killed as they turned to face him. He took out 2 more Germans with his revolver. A shout was heard in German, and the patrol surrendered, laying down their arms. Jack would serve Britain with distinction throughout the war. He died in 1996. He was 89 years old. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day.